All right, so the Pittsburgh Steelers have made a massive move. One of the first big moves for Omar Khan as the general manager of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've gone out and extended Minkah Fitzpatrick, a player who they absolutely had to keep around in their secondary, considering some of the players they've lost and the struggles they've had in the back end there. Fitzpatrick has been the best player in that secondary for a while, and he's probably been the best secondary player we've had on our team. I would venture to say since Troy Polamalu. I would go back that far. So Fitzpatrick's been massive for Pittsburgh the past couple of years, and they got him on a 4-year extension worth, according to Adam Schefter, over $18.4 million per year. It's going to be roughly $73 million in total, with $36 million in guarantees, which will automatically make Fitzpatrick the highest paid safety in the NFL in terms of average annual salary at $18.4 million or more, depending on what the contract actually comes out to. The previous record was held by Jamal at $17.6. The third highest paid safety is Harrison Smith at $16 million flat. So Minkah Fitzpatrick by far resetting the market, something we've seen a lot of different positions do this offseason. And part of the reason for that is because we expect the salary cap to be rising significantly. And you look at just the cornerback deals we've seen this offseason: Jair Alexander, Denzel Ward, just a lot of guys getting above that $20 million mark for corners. So for safeties, we're not going to see guys get above $20 million anytime soon, I believe. But $18.4 million is actually fairly reasonable for a player in Minkah Fitzpatrick, who is 25 years old, going on 26. He's been a first-team All-Pro twice in 2019 and in 2020. He's a very versatile coverage player. This past season, he did not have as good of a grade. If you look at PFF, he didn't have as good production in the passing game. Part of that's because he had to come downhill so often and play such a supporting role in run defense, because our run defense was not fantastic. But when he's allowed to kind of play his own game in a sense, and allowed to really play his position and not have to be such a heavy run defender, he is one of the best safeties in the NFL. And like I said, he could legitimately be a Pro Bowl or All-Pro level player for another 5, 6, maybe even 7 years, depending on how his health holds up. And health has not really been an issue for him. He's played 16 games every year of his career, only missing 1 game this past season. So he's been healthy and he's been productive. So getting Fitzpatrick on a long-term extension, I think is big for Pittsburgh. I know safety is generally viewed as one of these positions that's not very valuable. Similar with linebacker and stuff on that sense. You know, you're not really meant to pay this position too much money. You really want to focus on corners, edge rushers. And I generally am with like that modern analytic trend in terms of not paying these kind of players. However, I think safety is highly undervalued in the NFL because it is really versatile. I think it's undersold how versatile it is. And with Fitzpatrick, he is one of the more versatile safeties in the NFL. He can do almost everything you ask him to do. We saw Miami try to play him in that role, and he was productive in Miami in a variety of roles. But we're just kind of allowing him to do more of what he's comfortable with in Pittsburgh. So I view this as an absolute win for the Steelers. Yes, you're putting a lot of money on that defense, frankly, with what you're doing by paying these guys like Fitzpatrick, and of course you paid T.J. Watt a massive amount of money. So you're putting a lot of investment into that defense, but you do need offensive line help. Your quarterback's on a rookie deal, though, so you can afford to do this. It'll be interesting to see if the Deontay Johnson contract extension gets done or if they decide to move on from him as well, because maybe fears with the salary cap in the future because you're paying some of these guys. But hey, you know, you have to take some risks to win football games. And frankly, that defense is going to be the central core part of this Pittsburgh team moving forward with the quarterback play they have currently with youth and experience and low-level play. So Fitzpatrick, and getting him on an extension was crucial. And hey, I'm already happy with what Omar Khan has done with the team, keeping Fitzpatrick around. And here's hoping that in 2022 he can get back to being an All-Pro.